It's wild to think how quickly AI has moved from, well, something in sci-fi movies to just being part of our tech
Yeah,
every day.
it really is.
Your phone suggesting words, your thermostat learning your schedule. It's just everywhere now.
Hmm.
So let's unpack this. Today on the Deep Dive, we're taking a really close look at AI, where it is right now in our phones, our smart homes, and where it might be going.
And we've got some good material to dig into.
Yeah, we do. Expert analysis on smartphone AI, a study looking at how people actually feel about smart home stuff, and crucially, insights on data privacy, because that's huge.
Absolutely essential.
Our goal today, pretty simple, really. Get past the buzzwords, understand what's actually new, how you're likely using this tech, maybe without even realizing it, and what the big questions are around keeping your information safe.
It's such a rapid pace of change. Feels like just yesterday we were wowed by basic voice commands, right?
Totally.
And now AI is fundamentally changing how devices work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's dive straight into the device we're probably all glued to, our smartphones. I mean, AI has been in there for a while, hasn't it?
Oh, for sure. Over a decade.
Think about, like, photo editing tools, those voice assistants we talk to sometimes,
Siri, Google Assistant.
predictive text, face recognition, even identifying music. That stuff's been around.
Exactly. Siri kicked things off back in, 2011? And Google's AI has constantly been making Android smarter behind the scenes. That was sort of the first wave, refining things.
But, and this is the key thing our sources are highlighting, the really transformative impact now is coming from generative AI.
Right. That's the big leap.
It's not just tweaking photos anymore. It's changing what the phone can fundamentally do.
Way.
And the scale.
Wow.
Projections are saying over 1 billion smartphones with generative AI shipped by 2027.
1 billion.
Yeah.
And what's really enabling this is the power moving onto the device itself.
Ah, the chips.
Exactly. Chipsets like MediaTek's Dimensity 9300, Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, they can handle complex AI tasks right there on the phone.
So for you, listening, what does that mean?
It means speed, much faster responses, a smoother experience, because your phone isn't constantly having to call out to a server somewhere and wait for an answer.
Right. Okay, so what does this look like? What are the actual features?
Well, some really neat stuff is already here.
Like search. Google's circle to search seems pretty intuitive.
It really is. You just, circle something, scribble on it, tap it, right on your screen, whatever you're looking at.
And bam, it searches.
Yeah. No need to switch apps, type things out. It just understands what you're pointing at. It's very streamlined.
Makes sense. And photo editing has gone kind of nuts, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Google Pixelate's magic editor, filling in backgrounds, moving people around.
It's powerful stuff.
And best take, merging group photos so everyone looks good. Genius.
Definitely solves a common problem. Samsung has similar things, like the object eraser.
It's way beyond filters. It's like proper creative control now, which I guess raises questions about, photo authenticity too.
It absolutely does. You're getting image manipulation tools that used to need, complex desktop software. Now it's just a few taps. It blurs the line between capturing a moment and creating one.
And the virtual assistants? They're getting smarter too.
Much smarter.
OnePlus has an AI summarizer for call recaps. I need that.
Right. Imagine skipping the frantic note-taking.
Android Auto AI summarizing messages or web pages while you drive.
Yeah, and Samsung's Chat Assist or Google's Magic Compose, adjusting the tone of your messages.
So like if I sound too blunt, it can soften it.
Exactly. It's moving beyond just commands to actually understanding context and, nuance, summarizing, changing tone that shows a deeper grasp of language.
Makes the interaction feel more natural, less like talking to a robot.
Precisely. More intuitive.
And we shouldn't forget accessibility. That seems huge.
Vitally important.
Real-time translation breaking down language barriers. And better voice commands, screen readers for users with disabilities.
This is where AI can have such a profound positive impact, making tech truly usable for everyone. The potential there is just immense.
Okay, so that's kind of where we are now. A lot happening. But what's next? What's on the horizon for AI in phones? Maybe even other gadgets?
Well, the future looks pretty exciting. We're hearing buzz about next-gen chipsets like the upcoming Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. They're aiming for even bigger performance jumps and maybe totally new features.
Like what? Any clues?
Specifics are hush-hush, but speculation includes things like enhanced communication, maybe AI answering assistants that can actually mimic your voice.
Whoa, an AI answering calls is me. That's something.
Right. And maybe more personalized, immersive gaming and experiences.
Okay, and our sources mentioned maybe having to pay for some of these AI features,
Yeah.
like a subscription.
That's a definite possibility, a one-time fee, or yeah, more likely subscriptions. It raises questions about monetization. Will people pay extra?
Depends how good the features are, I guess, how essential they feel.
Exactly. It needs to be seamlessly integrated and genuinely useful.
And it's not just the phone hardware itself. We're seeing these innovative ideas, like appless concepts. The T-phone from Deutsche Telekom and Qualcomm.
Right, with Brain.ai, the idea of the AI being like a central concierge.
Understanding what you need and just handling stuff for you, that feels like a big shift.
It really does. Instead of juggling apps, the AI is the interface. It anticipates, it manages, potentially a fundamental change.
And then there are the other devices popping up. Wearables, portables, Humane's AI pin, Meta's smart glasses, the Rabbit R1.
These aren't exactly smartphone replacements yet,
Not yet.
but they hint at a future where AI is just more ambient, woven into your day, maybe less screen focused.
Integrated more naturally, yeah.
That seems to be the direction.
Okay, but with all this cool potential, there've got to be challenges, right? Hurdles to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. And a big one, maybe the biggest, is privacy and security.
Always comes back to that.
AI needs data, lots of personal data to learn and work well. So naturally, people worry about how that data is used, how secure it is.
And these systems become big targets for hackers, I imagine.
They certainly can. Protecting user data is paramount.
Then there are the hardware limits. You mentioned the chips getting better, but our sources pointed out Google having trouble getting Gemini Nano, their AI model, working smoothly on the Pixel 8.
Right. That highlights the gap that can exist between the AI software's potential and what the current phone hardware can actually handle efficiently.
It's a balancing act.
A constant engineering challenge, yeah. Optimizing these complex models for mobile.
And cost is a factor too, isn't it? Developing this cutting-edge AI isn't cheap.
Definitely not. And that cost could mean these advanced features mostly stay on high-end, expensive phones?
Limiting access.
Potentially. Though it's good to see efforts like Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8's Gen 3 aiming to bring some of those flagship AI features to more affordable model.
Right, democratizing it a bit.
Which is crucial. Wider access means more people benefit.
Another point raised was e-waste. If we're all upgrading our phones faster just to get the latest AI, well, that has an environmental cost.
It's a serious consideration. The sustainability of this rapid tech cycle, we need to think about managing that impact.
And maybe a more philosophical point, over-reliance. Are we risking becoming too dependent on these super smartphones for, basic thinking?
That's a valid question. Finding that balance, making sure we still use our own brains while leveraging the tech, it's something we'll all need to figure out consciously.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From the pocket to the home. Smart home appliances.
Right.
Connected fridges, ovens, lights, promising efficiency, convenience, comfort. Sounds great on paper, but what's the reality?
Well, the study we looked at really paints a picture of let's call it a complicated world of customer attitudes.
Oh, okay. Complicated how?
It's not straightforward. People are influenced by tech glitches, the cost, and yes, those same privacy concerns keep popping up.
Right. I mean, the idea is appealing. Automation, your lights dimming for movie night, your thermostat saving energy.
The potential benefits are real. Automating chores, optimizing energy, boosting security with smart locks or cameras. People see the value in that.
But the concerns. Privacy is a big one, the study says.
Huge. The thought of devices listening or watching, how secure that data is, who might access it, that gives a lot of people pause. Understandably.
Yeah, being monitored in your own home. Creepy.
Trust is absolutely key for adoption here.
And cost. Again, not just buying the smart gadget, but maybe ongoing costs.
Yeah.
Maintenance.
Exactly. The initial outlay can be significant, and that's a barrier, especially for lower-income households. Does the benefit outweigh the cost? That's the calculation.
And the tech itself. Is it easy to use, or is it kind of fiddly?
It seems mixed. Some find it complex, needing tech skills to set up and troubleshoot.
Which can be frustrating.
Very. The user experience has to be smooth. And another big frustration is interoperability, getting devices from different brands to actually talk to each other nicely.
Yeah. The walled garden problem. Okay, so this market has been evolving for a while. Our sources mentioned stuff going back to the 70s. X10.
Yeah, the very early days. Pretty basic stuff. Slow, Not always reliable.
A long way from AI fridges.
Definitely. Things really started changing in the 2000s with wireless tech like Z-Wave, Zigbee, made installation easier, opened up possibilities.
And now we're seeing AI integrated, focus on security, energy, and maybe getting a bit cheaper.
Generally, yes. More options, increasing affordability.
And the market size reflects that growth. The numbers are pretty big, around $30 billion recently, with projections for really strong growth like 9, 10, even over 11% compound annual growth rates.
The interest is definitely there and growing, driven by things like home renovations, more people setting up general smart home systems, better Wi-Fi, more awareness of the benefits.
And rising incomes help too, presumably.
That plays a role, yes.
But those challenges remain security, cost, compatibility, reliability. And maybe some people just don't care about having a smart toaster.
Exactly. Overcoming those hurdles and showing clear value are essential for the market to keep growing like that.
So digging into that study on consumer perception,
Yeah.
how easy do people actually find this stuff to set up and use?
It was interesting. A majority said easy or extremely easy. That's positive.
Okay.
But there was a pretty big chunk who were neutral and a smaller group who found it difficult. So room for improvement on usability still.
That neutral group could be anything, really.
Oh,
Not terrible, not amazing.
Could be. Or maybe depends on the specific device. The study also asked if people felt they had to use smart appliances, like an obligation.
Yeah.
A decent number felt that way, yeah. But lots were neutral or disagreed. So it's not like everyone feels pressured into it. Needs vary.
Underscores that it's not one size fits all, and age played a role.
Yeah, younger adults, 1834, use them much more frequently. Usage drops off with age.
Makes sense. Maybe digital natives are more comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
but also suggests maybe the design isn't intuitive enough for everyone yet.
Could be. Or maybe less perceived need among older groups. The intention to invest for convenience and efficiency showed a similar pattern agreement, but also a big neutral group. Cautious interest, maybe.
Waiting and seeing.
Yeah.
Like the appeal is there, but maybe waiting for the price to drop or the tech to mature.
That seems plausible. Many are intrigued, but perhaps not fully convinced yet. Same for using smart tech for energy management. Large neutral group there too. Gradual adoption.
And the background research mentioned factors influencing adoption. Things like compatibility, ease of use, usefulness.
That makes sense.
Standard adoption factors, yeah.
But also consumer perceived innovativeness. So how new and cool people think it is matters.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And environmental concerns motivate some, thinking about energy savings.
But the blockers are still there too. Reliability, interoperability, and always privacy and security.
It's that complex mix again. Convenience and security pull people in, but worries about privacy, cost, and things just not working smoothly push back. Which leads us nicely, or maybe inevitably, back to data privacy.
Yeah.
This feels like the critical thread running through everything AI touches.
It really is. As AI handles more sensitive data, the risks grow, and the need for strong protection becomes, well, non-negotiable.
Because AI systems need data, right? That's how they learn.
Fundamentally, they collect personal data, use it for machine learning, make predictions, and that raises huge ethical questions. Who uses it? How? For how long?
What are the biggest privacy challenges the sources highlight?
Unauthorized data use is a big one. People often don't know how their data is gathered or shared. Think opaque terms and conditions.
Yeah, who reads those, right?
It erodes trust and can lead to unwanted targeted ads, profiling, even identity theft.
Needs way more transparency, clear opt-ins, easy ways to delete data.
Absolutely. Empowering users. Then there's biometric data, fingerprints, face scans.
Stuff you can't change, like a password.
Exactly. If that gets breached, it's permanent. The risk of identity theft, unauthorized surveillance with facial recognition, it's serious. Needs incredibly strong safeguards and clear rules.
And sneaky data collection. Browser fingerprinting, hidden trackers.
Covert methods, yeah. Again, it undermines trust and raises ethical flags about consent. Companies need to be upfront. There can be legal trouble, like with GDPR if they're not.
And the bias issue. AI algorithms reflecting or even amplifying societal biases.
A huge concern. Biased hiring tools, filtering out qualified people, predictive policing, targeting certain groups unfairly. We need fairness and equity built in from the start, and ways to check and fix biases.
And these aren't just theoretical risks. The sources gave real examples, right?
That's sadly, yes. Big healthcare data breaches involving AI, exposing millions of records, debates around AI and surveillance, finding that balance between security and freedom, AI and hiring, sometimes disadvantaging whole demographics.
It really brings it home. These are real impacts on real people.
They serve as stark reminders. We need strong rules and responsible development.
Speaking of rules, the legal side is evolving. GDPR set a high bar.
It did, and the trend seems to be towards even stronger regulations, more standardized rules, maybe more international cooperation to keep up with the tech.
So what can be done? Best practices for protecting privacy with AI for companies.
Strong data governance is key. Knowing what data you have, controlling access, regular security checks, building privacy in from the start, privacy by design.
Not as an afterthought.
Right, and transparency. Telling users clearly what data you collect and why, that builds trust.
Okay, and for us, as individuals using this stuff, what can we do?
We definitely have a role. Check your privacy settings regularly. Phones, apps, social media. Be careful what you consent to. Maybe use tools like VPNs.
Stay informed.
Yes, stay informed about the issues. And advocate for stronger privacy rights. Our collective voice matters.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. Key takeaways for our listener.
I'd say three main things. One, AI in smartphones is advancing incredibly fast, especially with generative AI changing core functions. Two, smart home adoption is happening. People like the idea, but there's real hesitation around cost, complexity, and especially privacy. It's nuanced.
Yeah.
And three, underpinning all of this is the critical growing challenge of data privacy. How we manage the data AI needs is fundamental to its responsible use.
Absolutely. And if you, listening, wanted that quick but thorough handle on these complex topics, hopefully this deep dive gave you that shortcut.
Hope so.
So, a final thought to leave you with. AI is evolving so rapidly, becoming so integrated. How do we as individuals, as a society, actively steer this? How do we make sure we maximize the benefits while genuinely tackling the risk to privacy, security, fairness? What questions should we be asking now to ensure AI empowers us rather than, overwhelming us down the line?